Hello, 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 hello. Wherever you are located on this transcendent planet of ours called Earth, I hope wherever you are having a meaningful, wonderful day. This day, evening, or night. Welcome to the channel. I'm dealing with the beloved Blender version 2.83.3 long. What's that? Long LTS. The LTS version, long-term support version. Today, I want to cover 3 important keys that you learn in Blender within the first 3 months. The Alt D, Alt Shift, I call it a blackbird. But my wife said, hey, it looks like a bird or a jet plane. That's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. Alright, so that's, like I said, from now on, when I do Blender, I'm going to always try to just make a quick, different visual. If I'm using a 3D program, I might as well do something in 3D. Most people in Blender, all they did with is hurl the cube or the plane. I don't really know if you're really good at Blender or not. At least you all see with my little figure. Let me rotate around it. I got some degree of knowledge of using Blender. This could make a nice low poly bird or a nice low poly plane. Now I know how to fix up some more, but I ain't worrying about all that now. Alright, so I said I want to get into using the Alt D, Alt D, Shift D, and that copy key, which you rarely use. So first I'm gonna start with the Alt D key. Alt D. I got my copy. Now it said that Alt D is supposed to be an exact duplicate of my first figure right here. It was said that if I change my copy version, in this case Cube 02, I don't have to name it because that's a demonstration, it should impact the other one. So I'm gonna scale it and see what it does. It does nothing. I discovered that today. It does absolutely nothing. I'm gonna scale on that. Why? Nothing. But I have learned why it's in object mode. See, that's why. Why it's in object mode. If I come down here to material, let me take off the material. Let me take off this material and see what happened. Click. So it does have its own unique material because it didn't change the original. But now let me give it a material. New. Click these up. Display material. Alright. So it has its own unique material. I'm going to make sure I did that right again because I don't know, I was doing it so quick. Let me delete this. I want to hit Alt D. Oh, I have to highlight it. Alt D. Drag it over. Get rid of the material. Okay, so I didn't hit Alt D. I must have hit Shift D. Now, Alt D, at least when it's in object mode, it affects the material. I'm going to still scale it on Z. Let me scale it on Z. Scale it on Z. See, while it's in object mode, the scale is not affected. Only the material. I'm going to give it a new material. I'm going to make it a reddish color. And you see, that's what I learned about what Alt D does in object mode. Now let's switch to edit mode and see what happens. Your figure does actually change. I'm extrude, and we see that only it will only impact your figure in edit mode. See, now when I used to use Blender 2.76 and beyond, I can make this same change right here in object mode and it worked. But Blender 2.80 is different. So you don't, in object mode, you can only affect the material. If you want to unpack your duplicate, from what I can see, you have to be in, oh, because this is just the figure I had, and you have to be in edit mode, and that do your figure. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back the way. Now let me switch to object mode and see if it stays. Okay, switch to object mode and it still stands. So remember, your figure is not the size or scale, and object mode doesn't matter. When you hit Alt, I hit Alt D. Alright, now I'm gonna get rid of this figure. X. Yes. Click on it. I want to hit X, delete. I should delete it till I get back to my original one. I don't like that protruding thing. X, D. Alright, now let's go to Shift D. Let's see what Shift D does. Shift D. Just drag it right here. Okay. I'm going to scale it. Now Shift D, allegedly, your figure supposed to be its own unique copy. What I do to this object with Shift D is not going to impact my original one that I just now clicked on. So let's see if that takes effect in Blender 2.8, 80 and beyond. I'm gonna change the color. Okay, see, that's the pitfall. Shift D is not unique, but I discovered why. It's not unique with the material. So I'm gonna scale it too. I scaled it. Okay, let me go to edit mode and scale it. Oh, let me highlight it all. Scale. So in edit mode, when I hit Shift D, the object does appear to be a unique figure. Go back to object mode. But initially, when you hit Shift D, this is the reason the colors keep changing. Let me change it to green. This is the reason why the colors keep changing. Because when you hit that Shift D, it still has the data from the object I clicked on. So to make sure the color's not affected, but let me hold up. It's called Material 03 right there. And see, it's still called Material 03. Up here it says Cube 001. I'm gonna go to Cube 002. And you see the material is still 003. They share the same material. So what you have to do is delete the material by clicking on this minus sign, and now it's white. And unlike with Alt D, it did not make my original turn white. So now it's its own thing. So now I have to give it its own material. Zap, viewport display. I'll make it a yellowish. And I discovered that. So when you hit Shift D, the color, the material color is still copied to the duplicate. To make it unique, you have to delete that duplicate material. So let's go back to the let me see the data. What was it on material? Let me go to material and see the material now is called Material 0.004. My original is called Material 0.003. So that did it. And I can scale it on Z, and it's its own thing. Let me go to tab mode. I'm gonna hit the tab key to go to edit mode. I'm gonna extrude, and you see it's completely unique now. So remember, if you hit Shift D and you want it to be completely its own thing, you have to delete that material, or at least give it another name. I didn't try that either. You can call it, but it still may be the same material name. I didn't try that. If I change it from Material 0.003 to just Material X, the X still may be shared between the both of them. Now, I may try that out right now too. Let me try that out. Let me go to Tab key. Let me hit X for delete. I'm gonna click back on this. It still got materials 003. I'm gonna hit Shift D. Shift D. Move it. I'm gonna call. See, both of them have material. Material right here. Name 003. All right, now I'm gonna give it a different name. I'm just gonna call it XYZ. Let's see what happened. This is called material XYZ. Okay, they still you have to delete it because both of them have material XYZ. This one has it XYZ. And I click right here and it's XYZ. So you can name the material all you want to. They still have a copy of it. Come all the way down. Make it black again. Now, this is what I discovered a while ago. Something that's never discussed. If you don't feel like delete, like I said, if you hit Shift D, you gotta delete the material. You gotta do all that. If you don't feel like going through all that hassle, deleting stuff, you just go over here to Object, and you see where it say Copy. Copy Object. It's Copy or Control C. Now I'm just gonna hit Control V like we do in Microsoft Word, the Braille Office. You know the typical application that we use. Control C, Control V. I'm hit Control V now. Control V. Oh, but I had to hit the G key. All right. Now I want to see if this is its own separate object without doing no hanky panky or clicking off of stuff. Let me check on material. But they still say the same material. Oh no, it don't. See this material X Y Z. I click on my duplicate. The material now is XYZ.001. So it's got its own material. To prove it, let me lighten it up again. I'm gonna put it on blue. So it's got its own material. I'm gonna scale it on the Z axis. So far it seems like it's completely separate. I'm gonna go to edit mode. I'm gonna extrude that my favorite little piece right there. So that way, if you choose, let me go back to object mode. If you don't want to have no hassles and delete material, none of that, and you want to keep it looking exactly the same, because what if you want to make your figure keep all the information that your original had, but still be separate? You should go to Object, Control, and Copy Objects, or Control C. That way, when you make a copy, it copy the figure, give it the same look, but the material and other information may be named slightly differently. That's huge. I never saw anyone in all my years of Blender telling me to go to Copy Objects, but I know why. Because Blender 2.8 is only a year old. Before in Blender 2.79, 2.78, 2.77, on and on and on, if you hit Shift D, the object was instant, its own instance. But it's no longer that way in Blender 2.80 and beyond. But you know what to do now. If you like this little discussion about the Alt D key, Shift D key, and the obscure menu item, Object, Copy, or Control C and Control V, give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments to make about how you copy objects and make them separate, leave a comment. If you would like to subscribe, please subscribe. Until the next time, Blender family, peace.